So we have a forgotten war in Yemen, but we are among the rare outlets who have not forgotten it. And part of the reason that there's not a lot of press around it is because the people conducting that war are a Saudi Arabia-led coalition of U.S. Arab allies. So it's all of our Arab allies. So we're like, oh, I see no evil. I don't hear any evil. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't talk any evil. No. Okay, well, the reality is it's happening whether we talk about it or not. So let me tell you. At least 10,000 people have been killed in Yemen's 18-month-old civil war, said the United Nations on Tuesday, approaching double the estimates of more than 6,000 cited by officials and aid workers for much of 2016. That's a lot of people, and again, a fairly small country. Now, the UN has no reason to pick sides here, and if anything, they would be closer to the U.S. here because we have most of the power in the United Nations. But nonetheless, they explained. The United Nations Human Rights Office said last week that 3,799 civilians have been killed in the conflict, with airstrikes by the Saudi-led coalition responsible for some 60% of deaths. Just because they're our allies doesn't make their actions right. So, well, okay, yeah, but the other side is funded by Iran. And? So it's not like Iran's a great state actor. I'm not thrilled with what's happening in Iran. I'm also not thrilled by what's happening in Saudi Arabia. Other than cheap oil, I don't know why we're picking sides and arming one to the teeth and having them kill all these civilians and really saying almost nothing about it. Okay, UN Humanitarian Coordinator Jamie McGoldrick gave no breakdown on civilian casualties, adding the conflict has displaced 3 million Yemenis and forced 200,000 to seek refuge abroad. The United Nations has information that 900,000 of the displaced intended to try to return to their homes. So, on top of all the deaths, millions of people displaced, but it's our good friends the Saudis, so have at it, Hoss. No. There's no one holding Saudi Arabia accountable for how they are conducting that war or whether that war is legitimate in the first place. I don't find it a dispositive point, oh, well, that the Shia took control of a country near Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia is Sunni, so that makes them uncomfortable. And, okay, that's between the Shias and the Sunni, but if they're going to do it in Yemen, they at least should have the decency not to do it with our weapons. But believe me, we have sold them a lot of weapons for that entire Arab coalition, and they are using them. Gee, I wonder if the people they're bombing will hold it against us. I wonder if we'll have blowback on it. And when we do, and people strike back at us for arming the Saudis and the other Sunnis doing the bombing and killing the civilians in Yemen, I wonder what our politicians and our pundits will say. My guess is they'll go on TV and say things like, well, they hate us because they hate us. They hate us because they hate us. No, they hate us because we are involved in ridiculous wars like this.
Members get the full 2-hour show commercial-free and our post-game show in addition to a lot of awesome members-only content. If you want to become a member, go to tytnetwork.com/join.